Middle-Aged Man in a Trash Can, Chapter 1, Part 2, by William Bryan Johnson. I'm a panicked lemming in the surge. Nobuyuki separates from me. The shattered moon's orbit takes up the sky and eclipses daylight. The large rocks closest to Earth melt as it scrapes the upper atmosphere. There's a sound of heat and sizzling fajitas along with the smell that it cooked too long. It burns my throat. I stop and stare as people surge around me. Moonbits, satellites, and space stations decelerate and explode like meteorites. The moon's a gigantic plow taking everything out in its path. The stream of humanity crushes and forces me forward. Fireballs rocket overhead, emitting thundering sonic booms that punch the guts and shake the ground. Glass is raining down all around us from the tall buildings. A smoking chunk of metal lands not far from me. A Soviet-era flag stared out from the atmospheric soot. I stop and gawk, but I can't stop the sea of humanity behind me. The masses rush into a squat parking structure as something explodes nearby. People are talking about the news. Tsunamis which swamped out the eastern seaboard a month ago are moving further inland. Something called the Roche limit is tossed around like its meaning should be known. People talk about running and the discussion shuts down when they talk about where. This is the end of days. Or from the moon's last pass, the end of day. There are familiar faces in the shelter. Familiar like you've waved at somebody and then you get close, you realize it's not them. Subtle changes. The guard's name and nationality are different. Maybe he changed to blonde or added or subtracted 50 pounds. One in the crowd always draws my attention. I always find Rebecca. She's a familiar, a person in the multiverse that appears roughly the same. She's been a waitress, a police officer, a lizard cult leader, military captain, and lover. Nobuyuki says it happens from time to time in a nexus. The multiverse planes are close enough together that some people just don't change much. Are you open for business today, Tom? Somebody shouts. There was a pause and a laugh. Man, we're always open for business, someone answers back. Even today. Nobuyuki looks annoyed. It's a calm voice in this maelstrom of emotions as another piece of debris crashes nearby. Several soul-shaking booms outside, and then a steady whistle getting louder, incoming. People are pushing to get in when it happens. It hits. We're covered in choking dust, rumbles, and the sky falls. The structure cracks and groans. The dust cakes my eyes, and somebody grabs me. We move fast. We need to go. This is a bad place. I'm picked up by the old man. Stop rubbing your eyes or you'll re-injure yourself. He runs with me like an old martial arts master, jumping up debris, fires, and incoming objects with a flip and a kick. People watch us, not knowing what to think. Sadly, it won't matter. Nobuyuki pauses for a minute and then moves impossibly fast. We're surrounded by fire. We move through it and away. There's mist in the air. Nobuyuki stops and lets me down. He takes my hand and puts it into cold water. I cup it and wash out my eyes. It hurts. I force my eyes open to see. I'm near a broken fire hydrant and water is everywhere. Nobuyuki rushes down the street. I blink a few times to clear the dust. Overhead, a fireball flares to life and falls towards the Indiana-Michigan Power Center where my cart is. Nobuyuki folds like a piece of origami and disappears with a pop. It's a small local dimensional jump. He does that. I can't. The fireball hits the building near where we left the trash cart, causing the upper level to fall on itself. The building falls into the alley. This is it. Dust and smoke fill the street and softly envelops everything. I huddle, not being able to see in front of me, and pull my t-shirt over my face. It doesn't work and I'm choking on dust. Papers are floating down in the debris. A few of us stand around and watch. There's a prairie dog mentality to observe the end. There's nowhere to run and no sense of search and rescue on a doomed ship. The orange glow of fire brightens in the eastern sky, highlighting a cityscape that's missing teeth. Several of the buildings that make the skyline are gone or busted. The Indiana-Michigan Power Center, the highest point in the city, is missing its top layers. The cart is in the alley, crushed by the upper levels. Nobuyuki, I whisper. We're living in a summer blockbuster disaster movie. I'm far from the square-jawed actor ready to save the world. I'm more the fluffy middle-aged guy who buys it horribly in the first act. There are gaps in the Indiana-Michigan Power Center. Out of the skyscraper, glass, steel, and concrete fall. My eyes and chest burn, but I had to find Nobuyuki. Our group of prairie dogs move like a herd. The heat is palatable from the place. Dust moves towards the wildfire's glow like a big vacuum. The dust moves slow. Maybe the fire isn't as close as it feels. The alleyway we came out of is now a hill of debris. Someone in a crowd mentions 90 minutes. I look up to see the moon is already setting. 90 minutes before this again, I ask? People look at me like I'm out of my mind. It gets closer, but 90 minutes, yeah. You're not from around here, are you, traveler? The young Mexican guy from the parking garage is studying me. He recognizes something's off. He's wearing a Sancho Tom Peace, Love, and Tacos shirt. It's a young Mexican guy I've seen around. He must be a familiar. Nothing else has fallen. We have about 90 minutes before it starts again. You know, because of the moon's orbit. He drones on like I'm back in elementary school and not getting the lesson. I've got 90 minutes to find Nobuyuki and get out of here. Orange sky and fire are everywhere, and on the list of no-goes if we survive. Our group of prairie dogs fan out, downgrading our chance of survival. Sancho Tom seems like he's waiting on me to do something. I walk into the alleyway. He follows. You're not making it in that way, he says. I turn around and look at him. A friend of mine ran into the alley. Ah, the old man, he replies, shaking his head. I gotta get him out. There's something we need in there. I shouldn't be talking, but the shock of it's kind of turned off my filter. He talks, and I look at the alleyway. There's a small trucking entrance on the east side. This side's a no-go. I walk around the ruins of the building. Hey, my name's Tom. He puts out his hand. It took me out of my plan. Do I know you? I don't put my hand out and run around the building, leaving him behind. No, but you do and you will, he calls behind me. I'm winded. There's too much junk in the air. Large slabs of concrete fall from the building as I make it to the front park. I trot around the rest of the building between the deep breaths and the coughing fits. Someone is there. Tom? Hey. Tom's standing in front of tons of crumbled concrete in the alleyway, looking at it like a fresh cut yard. How did he get here so fast? There are shortcuts everywhere, man. Tom's following me and I don't have time for this. Listen, I know you're worried about your friend, and whatever you need to do in here is impossible, so let me help you, Tom says. Turns to me and arches an eyebrow. So you can go home. I stare at him and shrug. What can you do? Help you not make stupid decisions, get out of here. He sticks his hand out for me again to take. My life is a sum of stupid decisions. Tom wants something. But I take his hand, and as our hands connect, weird energy shoots up my arm like I struck a nerve. That's what I thought, traveler. In another time and place, we need to have a long talk. Electricity. Tom might be a traveler, too. This is what we're going to do. You're going to walk next to me. My hand's going to be on your shoulder, and we can't break contact. You got that? We cannot break contact. Sure, I shrug. He stares into my eyes. If you break contact, you die. Say it again. Don't break contact, I repeat. He scares me a little with the intensity. Tom takes a deep breath and moves next to me and touches my shoulder. The world changes. The sun is out, and it's a gorgeous day. There's no debris. I shrug off his touch and return to the hellish landscape. Hey, what did I say? Back in school again. I'm sorry. Don't break contact or I die. I wasn't ready for that. We moved in a brief contact. We're in between debris piles. Large slabs of concrete create an odd shelter against the perimeter wall. What are you? I ask. I'm Help Joe. I didn't tell you who I was. I know. This isn't the space time to have this conversation. You need help. Let me help you. You can help me at a later time. I bet the devil says the same thing before. He touches me, and we shift closer. I don't like his calmness and the odd air that he's not in mortal danger. Reality is changing within heartbeats. We're inside a building somewhere else. Now it's raining outside. It shifts somewhere in the back door that leads into the alleyway. Looks like there's a hurricane outside. Then he lets go. We're back. There's a gap in the ruined wall and a small patch of dirty white robe in the rubble. Nobuyuki! I shout. He's under all that. Let me help you. We shift and there's a shadow on the ground where Nobuyuki is. We back into the gap and he lets go. He's looking at Nobuyuki's form, and somehow he knows and hesitates. Dust is in the air and subtle groans announce through the structure. I try to climb through the broken window. Don't let your emotions get in the way or you're gonna get stuck. He rushes forward, grabs me in a half-shoulder hug. We're back in the light and clean building. A short, professionally dressed brunette screams and runs into a wall, dropping papers she had in her hand. Sorry, Sarah, didn't mean to spook you. Tom forces me forward. I'm a dusty homeless guy in an odd hug with a clean-cut kid forcibly being led down a hall. She scatters like a scared lizard. We gotta move before security comes down on us. We half run down the hall to the door in a weird four-legged race. Out in the alley, there's a line of trash carts. Tom half drags me to them, slapping the top of them as we move. Duck, duck, goose. This one's it. This is the one. Space-time hums around me. Nobuyuki? You won't like this. Don't move. Tom makes a step sideways. An odd rotation where the world seems to freeze, go out of frame, and the hellish skyscraper returns over the clean office building. We're in an interdimensional roller coaster and it's all loops and spins. I want to vomit, but I don't know what will happen if I do. We're standing in the ghost of debris. I'm holding tight to Tom, but a steel beam rests through my head. Don't let go and move with me, Tom says. His voice is watery. We shift forward and the world lags behind us. I can't process it and do my best not to pass out as the world spins. Here. Tom drags me forward. Ghosts are watching us. I want to ask questions, but everything is so discombobulated. We pass through the debris. An odd shape walks towards us as others run away. There's a void in the ground. As we pass the darkened bubble, Nobuyuki's on the ground. Tom touches Nobuyuki as they transform into their three-tailed fox form. Ew, I thought so, said Tom as he picks them up and tightens his grip on me. We need to move, buddy. The horizon isn't lining up. I have a grip on the trash cart. It feels squishy. Reality is squishy. I'm falling through reality. I got you, Tom says. I look at him and see another Tom standing, calmly pointing in the other direction. For a moment, I witness every reality at once. Tom is there, everywhere. My mind can't take it, and everything goes black.